Right, we're recording.
Okay.
This is episode 1 of my new series of Ryan Condon Unscripted.
Can we change the name, please? If I'm going to be in it more.
Oh, what do you want to change it to?
Ryan and Tracie Unscripted. No, Tracie and Ryan Unscripted.
Well, the thing is that I have you in these podcast episodes. I'm going to change the subject. I don't want to change the name. I'm gonna quickly just talk and hope that you forget that you said that. But the reason why it's Ryan Condon Unscripted is it's my second channel, and it's an opportunity to sit down and talk about all the things that are behind the scenes, my videos, things that we're doing. So the lunacy that we're up to, because we're up to some absolute crazy things at the moment. We're trying to start out on a new business venture, which we're going to talk about. Yeah. And I say business venture, it's more of an experiment that we're hoping is going to. It's a bit of a hustle. We're hoping it's going to bring us in.
It's a side hustle, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a bit of an experiment. See if we can make it work. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. It should work. But then also, we're doing a home gym. Yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Garage conversion.
Yeah, but it's Ryan Condon Unscripted for that reason that it's not scripted. But
yeah, but it could be Tracie and Ryan Unscripted.
I'll have a think about that. Maybe some people that are listening to this and watching it can leave a comment in the description. Everyone's going to go, yes, include Tracie in the name. I'm not going to win that. Nobody, not a single person is going to say no.
And it needs to be Tracie and Ryan Unscripted.
But this isn't your natural environment, is it? You're not someone who likes to be in front of the camera.
No. I don't even like being behind the camera.
No. We're going to talk about that as well, because we did some street interviews and you did some filming yesterday. You've become my new filming director. That's what you've become. You've done quite a few of my videos now, filming them for me with a camera.
Have I?
Yeah. Well, you did my Box Hill climb.
Oh, yeah.
You did my Ditchling
running
Beacon.
after you on riding up on the bike. Yeah.
Yeah. You did. What else have you filmed? You filmed for me when we did the street interviews yesterday.
Yeah.
You've done a few. You help me with a camera quite often, which I really appreciate.
Oh, and the Thames cycle, the length of the Thames.
Oh yeah, you were really good there. You got some really good footage. You're actually getting quite good with the camera.
I don't know what any of the buttons do, though.
No, but you know what the record button does, and you're able to zoom out in and out with the lens. Yeah. And the more you do it, the better you'll get. That sounded really patronising. But and also the thing with the podcast is you're here to help bounce discussion points off of. So I'm able to kind of throw a subject at you to discuss it with you. Whereas if I sat here on my own, just talking to
boring,
camera, it's not as engaging. So I'm hoping that these podcasts become a little bit more enjoyable.
So tell everyone what we're going to talk about.
So I'm going to come on to that. But the reason why I want to talk about why I've had a bit of a sabbatical from the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Because I love making the podcast. This has been something which I've really enjoyed doing. I love sitting here, chit-chatting with you, chit-chatting with other people. But the problem was, and I'm hardly Joe Rogan. I listen to a lot of podcasts. So I listen to Joe Rogan and I listen to Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO. I've also been listening to a few other running podcasts. I like listening to running podcasts where people go out and have adventures and they talk about it on there as well. And I've also been listening to another podcast called Marmcast. It's a very small podcast. It's a YouTuber, a chap, probably around about roughly the same age as me. He goes and does park runs, and he has a little podcast that he does with a friend of his. He does it with a race director of a park run. So they talk about park runs quite a lot and running, and he's quite funny.
Park runs have a race director?
Yeah, all park runs have race directors.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? People just organise themselves for a park run?
Well, what organisation does it need?
Well, it takes quite a lot. The fact that there's a venue, you have to have it organised. You have to have a route. It has to be planned out. Yeah, but it's not. Because if you just said to people on Facebook, let's just rock up on the green and run 5k. How do you know how far 5k is? Some people want to have watches. Some people will stop short. Some people will give up early. Race director makes a huge difference. Anyway, this isn't about park runs. It was just about the Marmcast podcast that I've been listening to. I wanted to give him a bit of a shout out. So, yeah, as I say, I'm hardly Joe Rogan or Stephen Bartlett. I have emailed Elon Musk and Richard Branson. I'm just waiting for them to get back to me.
Oh, they've not got back to you yet?
No, yeah. They can have a think about it. I've asked them, I've invited them onto my podcast. They are going to have a think about it. But in the absence of having these superstar celebrities, I'd still have you.
Oh, yeah. I'm an A-lister.
Yeah, I'd still have you. You'd be doing 70% of the podcast, but 30% I'm going to leave open to maybe doing some guests, having some guests in. But the problem, and one of the reasons that I stopped the podcast, the main reason, 80% of why I stopped, was because of time restraints. physically just to find, to sit down and record a podcast isn't just the hour or two of recording it. It's the setting up, it's the editing it, it's the uploading it. It takes a lot of effort and energy. And at the moment, time is the one resource that we don't have enough of. We do not have. So it's one of those situations where it was a pain. So to do it, I had to be motivated, and I was getting a bit demotivated, mainly because of the technology. So I was doing interviews with people because I got it in my head I had to have interesting guests. I got inspired by some of the other podcasts I've been listening to, and I got it into my head that we have to have these interesting guests that I can talk to, but the technology was letting me down. So I was interviewing quite a few people over Zoom or the equivalent software that I was using to capture it, and then I'd go to edit it afterwards and found out my audio was wrong, or there was some Wi-Fi connectivity issues, and it just become
technology let you down.
Yeah, it become really. I just got fed up with technology. I'd rather have someone sat with me like this.
Yeah. We've still got quite a lot of technology going on, though.
Yeah, but this isn't going to let me down.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm going to be all right with this. I'm sure. So that was the reason for the gap. And I've also decided I got it in my head that the podcast had to be under an hour. Had to be under an hour because nobody would want to watch for longer. But I thought if people are watching for an hour, are listening for an hour, they can stop it, pause it, go off about their life and come back to it another day. I'm not bothered about time now. If it goes over an hour, goes to 2 hours or whatever. Do you know what the average Joe Rogan podcast length is? 3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours.
I listened to one the other day. It was 6 hours. I mean, that was an exception.
6 hours.
That was an exception. But I'm not.
Could do a day's work in 6 hours.
Oh yeah. But he makes millions from his podcast, so I'm pretty sure he'd consider that a day's work.
All right, I'll let him off.
I don't make millions yet.
Yet.
Watch this space. Guys, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you're in at the early stage. I mean, this is season 3, so...
when we're at season 300...
Yeah, this is season 3, so the £1.50 that I make, I don't even make that because it's not monetised, this channel. Ryan Condon Unscripted does not have ads at the moment.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. So what we're going to talk about today, Tracie?
Do you want me to list it?
Do you want to? Do you know the list?
Yeah, I can read it off the book.
No. I'll talk you through it, and then you can give me your opinion.
All right, go on then.
That's how this podcast works, young lady. So the first one is McDonald's. Yeah. What do you think we're going to discuss there?
Well, our little endeavour yesterday of interviewing people about their eating habits and the amount of McDonald's that they eat ties in with this week's video.
It does. So this week's video is about the Super Size Me documentary.
Yep.
So do you know the Super Size Me documentary?
I do.
Have you watched it?
I have. When it came out in whenever.
2004.
Yeah, I watched it then.
Yeah, so the Super Size Me documentary, for anyone that doesn't know, is a documentary that was filmed in 2004 by a New Yorker called Morgan Spurlock. The documentary shot him to fame. He was an unknown filmmaker. He made this, and then it was one of those real of the moment, zeitgeist, interesting documentary, and it covered a whole plethora of social issues. But the main issue was our love for fast food. So, because he did an experiment that he filmed where he ate McDonald's every day for breakfast, lunch and dinner for 30 days, which sounds like a challenge that I would do. And I haven't, by the way.
And you're not going to?
No, I'm not going to. I wouldn't throw away my health for an experiment like that. But he... and that's what this week's video is about. This week's video is about the Morgan Spurlock Super Size Me documentary. He called it Super Size Me because at the time, McDonald's had... a promotion. I don't want to say promotion. It was a selling tactic where when you went in and ordered a Big Mac meal, they would ask you if you wanted a Super Size Me.
We never had that option here.
No, we never had Super Size Me in the UK. I think it would have come here if it wasn't for the documentary. So in America, they had the Super Size Me sizes where they had huge cups, huge fries. Like, anyone that hasn't seen the documentary, go watch it because even with the outcome, and that's what the video I made because there was a bit of a twist that only came out in 2024, 23. Morgan Spurlock died recently in 2024, 23. I can't remember exactly when. Recently, he died. He died of cancer, and he was the documentary filmmaker for Super Size Me. And it came out in the wash because he'd previously released a statement, but that I didn't know about this at the time. it came out in the wash. Do you know how they do obituaries and people kind of bring up old news when that person has died?
Yeah.
So something happens, and then, you know, years later they pass away, and then they bring it up again. Well, it was brought up in the news that I read at the time that he had released a statement as part of something else that I'm not going to go into. It's very easy to Google. It's all over Google. If you go on his Wikipedia page, it's all described there. But there was an incident or an issue where he really had to release a statement. And as part of that, this wasn't the cause of it, but as part of that, he admitted to abusing alcohol at the time he filmed the documentary Supersize Me in 2004. He admitted he was an alcoholic. And it kind of poo-pooed. It kind of undermined the outcome. Because the outcome of the documentary was that eating McDonald's for 30 days, surprise, surprise, made him really ill. Yeah. But it didn't just make him ill. It made him depressed. It gave him, put on loads of weight. He put on like 11 kg in a month.
That's quite a lot.
Which is a crazy amount of weight. But this was the big clincher. The doctor, all the doctors that he was seeing throughout the documentary, because he was doing it based on stats. So he went to the doctors before he started and then went back afterwards. And they all said that his liver looks like the liver of someone who's been abusing alcohol. Which, at the time, everyone put it down to the fact that he was eating McDonald's. And the outcome really was it kind of insinuated that eating McDonald's was the equivalent of being an alcoholic. Whereas
in terms of damage to your body.
In terms of damage, well, specifically to his liver.
Yeah.
And that was the insinuation. Even though it didn't blatantly say that, that was the insinuation was.
That's what you took from watching the documentary.
Yeah. And 6 weeks after this documentary aired, made him a huge
he was massive
celebrity at the time. And 6 weeks after this documentary aired, McDonald's discontinued their Supersize Me selling tactic, which is huge. Like a huge conglomerate that makes billions of dollars a year in profits. And one of the things that made it so much money was you having more chips and more, full fat Coke with your Big Mac. They ended that. They stopped it. And that was mainly because of this documentary. Now, McDonald's do deny that. They have said that was nothing to do with the documentary. It was just coincidence. But everybody, even his most harsh critics, put it down to the documentary. Because it just went everywhere. It went viral.
Well, they're never going to admit it, are they?
No, they're not. Now, obviously, it came out in the wash years later, 17 years later, that he admitted at the time he was abusing alcohol, which completely undermines all of his critics, say it completely undermines all of the findings. McDonald's must have been, cheering that he had made this statement. Again, it was part of something else. You can Google that. If you go on his Wikipedia page, you can have a read up of the issues that he was addressing. It was, to do with the Me Too movement. Completely unrelated to the McDonald's documentary, but some allegations were made against him that were complete. I'm not going to go into that now because that's not the point of the video. But, and again, you can Google that if you want to know more. But he, as part of that statement, said that he was abusing alcohol as a reason for why he made some of the decisions he made. And obviously people have put two and two together and realised when he was making this documentary, he was an alcoholic, which would have affected the outcome of the documentary. Yeah. Which I think is mental because it's not like he was trying something.
So the damage to his liver was not caused by the McDonald's, it was caused by the alcohol.
Who knows?
More than likely.
Probably. I mean, the doctors, even in the documentary at the time, said this is the sort of outcome I would expect to see from somebody who was binge drinking, which at the time everyone assumed it was because of the McDonald's food, but wasn't it? You don't know. The problem is when you throw in another variable, it undermines the experiment, and that's what he did. He undermined the experiment by not being transparent about his alcohol drinking or his alcohol problem. And it wasn't just drinking. He admits he was abusing it, which means it was probably excessive. And that was the outcome. And it was such a prolific I mean, the documentary was important to me because it was the first time I realised that as a society, we've got a problem.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm making this video this week. And then we went out yesterday as part of the video and interviewed people on the street outside McDonald's, didn't we?
We did.
So how did you find that?
A bit awkward to start off with.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't the one talking to people, you was. I was the one holding the whopping great big camera in people's faces. So I think they was more than happy to talk to you. It was the fact that I had the big camera in their face is what put most people off, I think.
Yeah.
The actual talking and answering the questions wasn't generally an issue. It was the camera.
It started off, yeah. I mean, look, it's not normal, is it? People in the street with not for us. I mean, if we was a television crew, that's different.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're just two normal people going about our lives.
You can tell the difference, though, between someone with a camera and a TV crew, though. You can tell the difference.
Obviously, yeah. But my point is that us doing it, it's not something we do every day.
No,
so it started off being quite awkward.
Yeah.
And then it actually became quite fun.
Yeah, we got into it after
2 or 3 interviews.
A few, yeah.
You more so than me. You were laughing at some point. You were enjoying it. And it was an eye-opener, wasn't it?
It was. I was genuinely shocked about some of the people's answers.
Yeah. Do you want to talk through some of them?
Yeah, well, the fact that quite a few people eat fast food every single day and openly admitted to it.
Yeah. And that was an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be as...
I was expecting most people to say yes, they eat it maybe once a week, you know, maybe a couple of times a week as a quick lunch when they're at work or whatever, but to openly admit that they eat it every single day.
Yeah. It was strange. But the thing is, what really got me wasn't the fact they were eating it every day, which you could kind of excuse if they didn't understand or they didn't think about what they were eating, which they obviously don't. But when you asked them, do you know what a calorie is or do you know how unhealthy it is? They didn't. They knew that McDonald's isn't good for them. They knew they shouldn't be eating it.
No, they knew that eating too many calories was bad.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand that McDonald's food has more calories than they should be eating.
Or they didn't understand the correlation between what they should be eating every day in regards to calorie intake versus what they were eating.
Yeah.
But they also knew that everyone said that they knew McDonald's is bad for them.
Yeah.
Like,
but they didn't care. They still ate it anyway.
They still eat it anyway because we live in a world of how can I put it? We kind of pull the wool over our own eyes.
Yeah.
I think that's why the documentary in 2004 was so powerful, because it was the emperor's new clothes. We all live in a world where this exists. We all do it. We know we shouldn't do it, but we still do it anyway.
And someone's pointed it out.
Someone's highlighted it and said, this is wrong. The emperor's got no clothes on. And we've all gone, yeah, you're right.
But it didn't really stop anyone eating it.
Well, I think it did. I think...
Did it?
No, well, it's part of a... knowledge is power. Yeah, knowledge is power. Just checking to make sure we're still recording. Knowledge is power, and it's part of a bigger conversation. Because... it's an oil tanker, isn't it? Like changing people's behaviour is like trying to turn an oil tanker.
Oh, yeah.
It's not done by the flick of a switch. It's a gradual step of different decisions and different conversations that need to happen before people start saying, do you know what, enough's enough. Same with smoking. I look at this era of time that we're in at the moment, in, you know, now, probably for the last 20 years, maybe for another 20 or 30 years. I think in 50 years we're going to look back at this era and we're going to look at it in the same way as we now do about the 20s, 30s and 40s, where people found it socially acceptable to smoke.
Yeah.
I remember when the smoking ban came in and everyone was in uproar.
Everyone, yeah.
Like everyone that smoked was like, it's absolutely outrageous. People that didn't smoke said it's going to destroy pubs, it's going to destroy social environments, I'm still going to smoke here, I'm going to smoke there. It was a major issue. And now we look back on it and go, why didn't we do that sooner?
Yeah.
Could you imagine walking into a public space, walking into a shop, walking into a pub, and people are lighting up, smoking cigars, cigarettes? Like it would be an issue.
Yeah.
Whereas it's so socially acceptable to eat fast food now that people do it without the concept of whether or not it's good for them. That goes to the side.
Or any consequences.
Yeah. And we were talking about this with McDonald's were the first brand to enter into or to offer a child play area.
Yeah.
They entered the Happy Meal, the toys.
So they entice the children in young. They want the toy. When we was in there yesterday, they had a little a Care Bear soft toy in the Happy Meal. So the kids go in, they want the toy, so the parents buy the meal, and then that's it. They're hooked from a young age.
And that's the thing and that's where it becomes socially acceptable. Because imagine if your mum has been taking you in since you were 4 years old, You've
been even younger.
Even younger. You've been playing on the slides, in the playpen, in the ball pit. You've been having your Happy Meal. You've been getting your toy. That is the biggest endorsement. What your parents do with you have the biggest impact on what you believe to be socially acceptable. We've seen that all over and over with other aspects of life.
Yeah.
That's the biggest endorsement, isn't it, for fast food? You take a child in and sit them down.
This is okay for you to eat.
You're going to grow up as an adult. You're going to continue doing it, and you're going to do it with your children.
Because no one ever says when you take your 5-year-old to McDonald's, well, you can have it today, but this is like a one-off.
Yeah, if you take them in on their birthday as a treat, as a one-off, once or twice a year. I mean, I know you have only one birthday, but it's a treat.
As a treat.
Once or twice a year. Because
it's not good for you, but we'll have it as a treat. No one ever uses it as a treat. As a treat.
It's part of everyday life.
Oh, we need to eat something quick. I know, let's just go and get a McDonald's.
Yeah. And we see it all the time with what we do for a living.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go down that road, but it makes it socially acceptable. And that's the brilliance of the McDonald's business plan, of their strategy, is that they've completely future-proofed themselves.
Yeah.
Like nobody,
because they've got the next generation.
The next generation aren't going to grow up and suddenly decide they're no longer going to eat at McDonald's. I mean, you see that with brands all the time. Brand is for the older generations. There's many brands on the high street. We say it all the time. Our kids wouldn't be caught dead eating or shopping or buying in these brand shops because their generation just don't go in there. It's just not somewhere that they go. And we see it all the time. But McDonald's are completely future-proof. Other brands have done the same. It's not just McDonald's, I should say that. The other brands have done exactly the same, but I think McDonald's is probably the ones that have nailed it. And they're the ones that always do it first, and then everyone else copies. Yeah, but they're the ones that they've completely nailed it. And if you use them as a template, they're the template that other businesses want to copy from when they future-proof themselves for the future. Which is worrying. And when we was interviewing people, it was an eye-opener when we said to them, because there were two things that we asked. We asked, do you know what fast food is? So give me examples of brands. And McDonald's wasn't necessarily the first, but they did mention McDonald's. Most people all said McDonald's, didn't they? Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily, some said KFC first, some said Burger King. There was a couple that I didn't even recognise because we hadn't been eating. That's new on the high street. Yeah. So somebody said Popeyes, which you didn't know what that was at all, did you? No, it's a chicken, I don't know what they sell. Like KFC, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. But they've arrived in the UK within the last couple of years. Yeah. Wendy's, which you'd heard of, but you just didn't know we had them. Well, I've seen it in America. Yeah. When we've been to America, and I knew Wendy's as a brand. They have it in movies and things, don't they? They have it in movies. I've heard of it as a brand. I just didn't know it was in the UK. And that's because we haven't had fast food since... When was the last time we had fast food? And when I say fast food, I mean these brands we're saying now. I think it's like 2017 or 18, around that sort of mark. I can't remember exactly. But we had McDonald's then. We went to the theatre. We was in central London, and we'd somehow messed up the times, and we had about a 15-minute window that we needed to eat in, and we was in Leicester Square, and the only thing that was there was McDonald's. Yeah, it wasn't the only thing that was there, it was the only thing that we could eat in quickly. Yeah, that would have given us food that fitted in the 15-minute time frame that we'd left ourselves. Yeah, because you can't, walk into Wagamama and eat a meal in 15 minutes. I mean, you probably could, but it's, not done, is it? No. So we went to McDonald's. But this was right at the time where we were trying to be healthy. We was right at the very beginning of our journey. We knew we needed to make changes, but we didn't really know what those changes were at that time. We weren't vegan. No. For anyone that doesn't know my story, and I'm sure you have, because I'm sure you're watching this because you've seen my videos, but 2019, the end of 2018, the beginning of 2019, is where I decided I couldn't be 190 kg anymore. No. And I didn't want to drink alcohol anymore. And that kind of led us on the road to where we are now, being vegan. I'm teetotal. You've always kind of been, you dab, you'd added your tipple here and there, but you've always been teetotal. Yeah, pretty much. And it's kind of led, but that's where we were at the time. And that was the last time we had anything like McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, anything like that. That was the last time. And then until yesterday. And we had our first McDonald's yesterday, didn't we? We did. And how was that for you? I had very low expectations of it, especially as being a vegan McDonald's as well, not just a regular Big Mac. Yeah. My expectations were very, very low. And I ended up being genuinely surprised about not how nice it was, because I wouldn't say it was nice,
but it was edible without being horrible.
Yeah. I think. Look, I'm with you on that. I kind of get where you're coming from. I think the challenge is, for me, I knew it would be nice, so I knew it wouldn't be disgusting. I knew it would be more than acceptable because people wouldn't eat there. The thing is with McDonald's is I think they're in a place where, this is where I'm going to go all conspiracy theory. This is where I'm going to try and capture some of Joe Rogan's audience, but I'm not really. I'm only joking. But I think that there is a part of McDonald's where there are executives, head chefs, whoever, people that make decisions. They sit down with the recipe and they use clever language. They don't say what we would say here as being, they want their food to be addictive because that's negative. They've got negative connotations. Addiction comes with alcohol and drugs. Yeah. But they want their food to be addictive.
So
but they use clever language.
Back.
So people keep coming back. So I think they make in their recipes, they put a high sugar content, high salt content. They do the opposite of what foods try to do now. If you watch Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, whatever, when you have a food product that comes in, they always talk about how they're going to try and reduce calorie intake. Yeah. They want their salt level to be low. They're going to reduce their fatty acids. They want to everything that you want a food product to be. You want it to taste nice, but you don't want it to pile on the pounds. Mm-hmm. People in McDonald's do the opposite. Yeah. They'll tell you one thing, what they tell you publicly, they'll do the other thing. They want their food to taste the best as possible because then you've got more chance of coming back.
Didn't they do a thing where they made a salad? But they'd put like deep fried breaded chicken in the salad and all of the dressing and everything else. Yeah. So then you're buying that because it's advertised as the healthy option. You think you're making the correct decision, but it actually had just the same amount of calories as a burger because by the time you've taken into consideration the actual deep fried chicken and the dressing.
Yeah, exactly that. When you take that into consideration, it had more calories than a Big Mac meal. Yeah. Yeah. And if you actually look back on their advertising campaign for that salad in particular, the one you're talking about, I think it was called the ranch salad or the ranch
I don't
dressing.
think we ever had it here, but it's just from the documentary.
Yeah, and it was never actually advertised as being healthy, but because it was a salad, they knew it had that connotation of being the healthier option. So it's clever. They've got a clever branding strategy which keeps people coming back. And
we were supposed to do bullet points of all of the things, but we've actually just said McDonald's and then just gone with it and not actually mentioned any of the others.
What?
Of the bullet points.
No, we're coming on to them.
Oh, I thought we was going to list the points and then talk about them.
Do you want me to do that now?
It's too late now.
Okay. Should we just talk about them? So
now we just need to go to the next point.
I'll quickly mention them. So we're going to talk about McDonald's. Yep. We're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about the home gym. Yep. That we're building. We're going to talk about Patreon. Yep. And the fact that I've ended Patreon. We're going to talk about my YouTube videos. Okay. And my new upload schedule. Yep. We're going to talk about your crafty nature and how crafty you are. Okay. And not in a Del Boy way. No. Dodgy dealer.
In a maker way.
In a creative making things way in your sweatshop upstairs. Because Tracie has her own crafty sweatshop, don't you, upstairs? And then I'm going to move on before you correct me, because it is a crafty sweatshop. If you saw it, guys, honestly, if you saw...
It's just a room.
Her room, okay? It is not... When you think of a crafty room, I think of Stacey Solomon, Sort Your Life Out, a small desk, Kirsty Allsop, she does it, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And with a few bobbins and pins knocking about. No. She has got a full-blown factory up there. I mean, it would rival Apple's manufacturing process. The level of sewing machines, shelving. How many balls of wool do you have in that room?
A couple of hundred.
Easily. And the rest. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about my ring.
Your ring
that I keep playing with. We're going to talk about this as well.
You're not supposed to play with it.
Briefly, not necessarily in that order, but this is the running order. So we've covered McDonald's. Apologies for not doing the running commentary before we started. I will do that for the next episode. Yeah. So how's episode 1 going so far?
I think it's okay.
Yeah, good.
Do you think it's okay?
Do you know what? If that's a review that I get in the comments, I thought it was all right. Oh. I'll take that.
What's next on the list?
Books. Why do I want to talk about books within the podcast?
Because I like reading books. Yeah. I also like buying books.
You do?
I like looking around secondhand bookshops.
Yeah. So just to put this into context, I wanted to add books into each episode, whether or not we talk about them for however long, whether it be 5 minutes or longer. is irrelevant. I want to talk about books because it's a big part of your life. And I don't want to just talk about things that I'm doing. I want to talk about things that you're doing. So you are...
Hence why my name should be in the title.
Yeah, we'll discuss it more off camera. That's not an issue. We can... I would say in the comments, please put it in the comments. But I know everyone would agree with you. Yeah. So, ultimately it's my decision. And I like Ryan Condon unscripted. The reason why is because you're going to be...
You're going off on a tangent.
Yeah, but you're going to be doing this with me, 70% of the time. 30% I'm going to have other guests, coming in, taking your place when you're too busy to give me your undivided. But I appreciate you doing this with me. Moving on swiftly. So books. So the reason I want to put books in is because you are a prolific reader.
I like it.
Prolific. And give anyone listening an idea of how many books you read in a month.
In a month, I don't know, but so far this year so since January, I've been tracking my reading on the Goodreads app. Yeah. And so far I'm on book number 56 this year.
So 56 divide. What month are we in? October. So we're in.
So that's like 5.5 books a month.
Yeah, so you're on 5.6 books a month, which I think is quite prolific.
So that's...
over a book a week.
Yeah, a book and a bit a week.
Yeah, well over. So
and they're proper books, though. They're not like little tiny baby books, short stories, proper books.
I mean, if you ramped it up, you could be 2 books a week.
Yeah, I could.
I mean, I think you could be easily if you had more time. And the only thing that stops you is time. Because you literally, I've seen you, when you are not doing anything, you are reading. I've seen you stood up reading. You read in bed.
Every night,
read when you get up in the morning. You have a Kindle going and at the same time as reading an actual physical book. Mm-hmm. You're reading sometimes 2 books on the go. You listen to podcasts. You are, because sometimes...
I don't track when I listen to an audiobook. So I've listened to quite a few of those as well that are not part of that 56.
You listen to audiobooks and you listen to a podcast about books.
Yeah.
You are prolific. So that's why I wanted to include this. What book are you reading at the moment?
So it's an Agatha Christie, a Poirot novel. It's Lord Edgware Dies. Yeah. I've got like a chapter and a half left. It's almost finished.
And it's one of those where your favourite genre is murder mystery, isn't it?
Golden Age detective novels. Oh. It's a very, very niche.
Oh, my goodness. This is going to become a niche, isn't it?
Well, I have a niche area that I like to read. Yeah. So it's detective novels written in between the 2 world wars. That is what's classed as Golden Age detective novels. There are ones I read that were written after. There are ones that I read that were written this year. Yeah. But they're the ones I enjoy the most.
And who's your favourite author?
Agatha Christie.
Who's your second favourite author?
Anthony Berkeley.
Who is a Golden Age detective?
Yes, he is.
So the reason why, and again, another reason why, is your influence. So you've rewired my brain. You've helped me rewire my brain. And what I mean by that is I know the virtues of reading books. Like the people we were interviewing about McDonald's. Mm-hmm. If you ask them, do you know if McDonald's is bad for you? They all said yes.
Yes, yeah.
Without exception. I know reading books is good for me. I know knowledge is power. I know reading the right books motivates me because I have read. I can read, guys, and I have read. I really struggle. I don't know what it is about my brain. I don't know what it is about the wiring I've got going on upstairs.
We did the same thing with Maddie though, didn't we?
Yeah.
She absolutely hated reading. Hated it with a passion.
I know, I don't hate it.
No. She hated it. Yeah. But all we had to do for her was find the right genre of a book. Now she reads every day almost.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, but I will say it wasn't the finding of the genre. I will disagree with you here.
But for her, it was. Everyone's different.
I disagree. I think for her, and Maddie's our daughter, by the way, but I disagree about. I know finding the genre helped. I think it was your influence. I think the fact that she sees you reading. You very rarely doom scroll on your phone. You will choose to read a book than you would choose to watch a screen. You never watch TV.
No, hardly ever.
If we ever watch TV, I have to choose the program and physically sit you down in front of the telly to watch it with you. And only then will you watch it.
And sometimes while we're watching, I am actually still reading.
You pick up a book and read at the same time. So if you had a choice, you will read a book. And that has massively influenced and rubbed off on our children. And it's rubbing off on me. So you are, a very good influence. The fact that you do this, and this goes to show how much of an influence the people around you have, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it, because I'm trying to read more books. And this comes back to what you said about the genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've had some mixed success with this, haven't I?
Well, you picked up a book not too long ago where you read a chapter or two and you put it down and was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm not reading anymore.
Life's too short. If the book is crap, I'm not reading it.
But see, I'm the opposite. Once I've started a book, regardless, like this book I'm reading right now, I got to chapter 2, the end of chapter 2, and because of the content of the book, I didn't enjoy it. I wasn't liking it, and I was only 2 chapters in, and I thought, no, I'm going to keep going. And actually, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because the things that I didn't enjoy in the first 2 chapters wasn't then present in the rest of the story.
No.
Whereas you just stop and don't see it through.
But for me, I have to be motivated to do it. I have to have the concentration. So I can't be exhausted. I can't have other things on my mind. So it takes a lot of, I don't know, effort to be in that place. I also have to be entertained because of that, because my time's valuable. Life's too short. This is my view on things. Life's too short to do things outside of necessary. So looking after children, putting food on the table, they're things that you don't have a choice. They have to happen. They're non-negotiables. Outside of the non-negotiables, life's too short to do things that are a waste of time. I will not read a book. I will not go to the effort of finding the motivation to be disciplined enough, to be clear-minded enough to sit down and read a book if it does not entertain me, if it does not motivate me, if it does not, get the neurons firing. And this book did not do that. This book was appalling. It was written by somebody who had no imagination, in my view, and I decided not to read it. But on the flip of that coin, I have had some success, haven't I? You have.
When we was on holiday, you read 2 books in a week and you thoroughly enjoyed both of them.
Yeah.
What were they?
So the first book was, I'm pleased you asked. The first book was Atomic Habits, which is a book about changing bad habits for good habits. So rewiring your brain, knowing that you can stop certain things and implement new changes in your life, because everything's about behavior.
Yeah.
And that's what the book was about, is about learning the psychology of why and how we do things and what we can do to influence ourselves. Because, if you give your mind and body an option, if you give it an option and treat it as something you can't control, which we very much can, because we have a conscious and unconscious, our conscious mind and our body will always take the course of least resistance. Yeah. So we will always choose the sofa and Netflix over a long run or a trip to the gym. So that's what that book was about. Really, really good book. Atomic Habits. Highly recommend it. I've made several videos about it now. And then the other book that I read was a book about, and I'll leave a link to this in the description. I think it was called The Power of Not Giving a Fuck or something like that. Literally, that's the title. So good, I can barely remember the name. But I'll put a link to it in both of these books in the description. Such a good book. It was about it gave me an insight into, and it resonated with me because I'm somebody who really cares about detail and the small stuff. And it was about not sweating the small stuff, about letting stuff wash like a water off a duck's back, letting it wash off me. Stuff that I know isn't important. Things that I can't control. Things that I know that in a year or 2 from now, I'm not even going to remember, or even a week or 2 from now, let alone a year. Forget about that. Things that I get into in my head, I get into things all the time where I think to myself, like, this needs to be like that needs to be like that. And it really doesn't. Like, just letting things go, not being upset. And it's about seeing those moments where you decide to give a damn, and I'll use the word damn instead of the F word, but those moments where you decide to give a damn, seeing those damns as being a limited number. So say, for example, across the course of your entire life, you only have 20 dams, like tokens to give. Is this the moment where I decide to use one of those tokens? Is this the moment where I decide to flip my lid? Is this the moment where I decide to get annoyed, get frustrated, get upset, get emotional, give a damn? Give a damn. Is this one of those moments where I use one of those tokens? If I've only got 20, this moment right now where somebody's cut me up, where someone's given me a parking ticket, whatever the issue is, may not be the moment I choose to use one of those tokens, because there might be something significantly more important that I need to use it for in the future. And you've what's the word? You've used that in real life since you've read that book now on several occasions. Yeah, it has helped. And you've made a conscious effort to not give a damn about things that in the past you would have, and it would have had a large impact on
your mental well-being, say, for the rest of the day or the week.
Yeah. And you know, that's but the reason why I wanted to talk about this isn't necessarily to do a book review.
No.
And if this is something that people would like to listen to, if there is any interest in people wanting to have our opinions on certain books, because I read the certain genre, talking about the genre of books that you've found for Maddie, the certain genre of books that I enjoy reading are self-help.
Self-help, yeah.
So guidance, self-help, motivational books, things that make me think and rewire my brain. I never read either one of these books expecting it to I keep using this term rewire my brain, but it does. That's how I see it. I read them and it felt like I had discovered a new script that I downloaded in my brain, and it makes me think now. And I enjoy reading those books, whereas you like reading fiction.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. I only read fiction.
Yeah.
I don't read any
as
non-fiction.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it and it decompresses you and you relax after a long day.
Yeah.
So if there's any interest in anybody listening to our opinions of books in general...
As long as they're also interested in golden age detective novels and self-help books, then we could do a book review.
I mean, I've got a funny feeling people are going to say it, even if they're not, just so as they have to watch me endure a conversation about golden age detective novels. I mean, I will say there have been some scenarios where you've told me about the story. You lie in bed telling me about the story.
Quite a lot of the stories that they use, they are very loosely and have used real crimes from that period as inspiration for the story.
Yeah.
So you quite enjoy watching and reading about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And there was one of the stories that I'd read that had used the inspiration of the Jack the Ripper from one of the possible suspects in the story. And it was the Florence Maybrick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was some crossover between the fiction and the non-fiction, and we ended up discussing it for quite a while, didn't we? How the two had merged into one.
I've got an unusual fascination with I want to say serial killers. Makes me sound like true crime. But I like reading about mysteries in general, not necessarily serial killers, because a lot of mysteries are tied up with serial killers.
No, not reading. You like watching documentaries.
But I've read a few Jack the Ripper books.
Yeah. You have a lot.
Yeah, I've read quite a few Jack the Ripper books, because it's probably the most famous unsolved mystery.
Yeah.
But there was
everyone knows Jack the Ripper,
everyone.
Even if they're not from the UK. Everyone still knows who Jack the Ripper is.
Or heard of Jack the Ripper, or knows a myth around it. But he, one of the suspects for who Jack the Ripper might be, was a man called James Maybrick, and it is believed he was murdered by his wife, Florence Maybrick. And Florence Maybrick, I'm just saying it to see whether or not what I'm saying is correct, so as you agree with me. But Florence Maybrick was then in your book as a murderer herself. Yeah. Which was, it was like
they'd taken a real character and made her into this fictional
character within your book who was a murderess. Yeah. And it was like our two worlds crashed together with because nobody wants to talk about Jack the Ripper with me. As soon as I bring up Jack the Ripper with my daughters, or even just any mystery in general, because it's not just Jack the Ripper. I will say, in my defence, before I had the police crashing through my doors and taking away my hard drives for investigation, I do like mysteries in general. So I do enjoy listening to
people that have disappeared.
Murder mysteries. I like listening to like the JFK assassination, theories, conspiracy theories around that. I like listening to those. Anything that has. I'm not somebody who goes down the road of flat Earth or moon conspiracies. I think that's all nonsense. I like the whole concept of nobody actually knows any of the information. This is what the theories are. Nobody actually knows what's happened here. Nobody actually knows who Jack the Ripper is. These are the theories, and I like that. And I enjoy it. And I like talking to you about the things that you were reading and the two things. And the other thing you were doing, you were reading the 100 books you have to read before you die. You was doing really well.
Oh yeah. I mean,
they're like classic books.
Yeah, I like reading the classics. Yeah, because,
give an example of some of those books.
Well, I wanted to read the classics because I found out that
what are those classics?
I don't know, things like Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, all the Emily Brontes, those Moby Dick,
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah, those kind of things. Because when you have discussions with people, you watch a movie and it's very loosely based on this classic book that was written 100 years ago. Turned out I'd never read read any of these books and could never really have an opinion on the movie or the new version of a book or whatever it was. So I decided I wanted to read all of these classics. Turns out they are all quite boring to read. And because they were written over 100 years ago, they're quite difficult to read as well. So instead of just reading classics, I then started mixing it up with detective stories in between. So now I might read an old detective story, then a classic, then a modern detective story to mix it up a bit.
And then I'm going to mention our favourite. He's always coming up in our house as a discussion point. Your favourite author of all time, who we both love. And a future guest, I hope, a future guest.
You mean Richard Osman?
Richard Osman. Richard Osman. Do you want to share with the audience our view? Or when I say our view, because your view is my view.
I don't want to say horrible things about the man, though, because he's a very lovely man from what I've seen on TV. Yeah. And I've read all but one of his books. One came out a couple of weeks ago, which I've got, but I haven't read it yet.
Do you want to explain, who he is, what the books are, and why I'm being sarcastic?
Well, they're just... his books are a group of old people that live in a nursing home situation.
They're murder mysteries, aren't they?
And they go out and solve murders.
Yeah, and he writes them now. He's a modern author. He's a TV presenter, but he writes murder mysteries about, and they've just adapted one of the books
the first
to
one
Netflix.
It's made it into a movie. Yeah. I'm assuming the other 4 books will also become movies at some point.
What's your view of his books?
I mean, they're good stories. I don't think... When I first started reading them, when I read the first one, I was a lot more at the beginning of my reading journey. So I really loved it. As I've read more books, as I've read other authors, I've realised that actually his writing is very basic and very simple and very much childlike. But I'm assuming that's to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah.
And not a hardcore reader. But I find the stories very coincidental, that the character just so happens to be in the right place at the right time to see the clue fall from the sky into their hands like magic. Yeah,
it's a bit patronising is what you described it as. I think you're being polite.
I am trying to be polite.
I will say for anyone listening that she does absolutely. I have to listen to her review of the book, and it is scathing, guys, scathing. Her review of Richard Osman, which I will be honest, we very much.
I mean, we love the guy. We watch him a lot. His House of Games.
House of Games. Yeah, we watch his House of Games.
It's one of our favourite shows.
So moving on from books, the next subject is the home gym.
The home gym.
The home gym. The garage. Yeah. So yesterday, the roller door was installed. Which has been something which I've been stressing over a bit. Which, coming back to my original choosing to give a damn about, I decided to give a damn about that.
You definitely used one of your tokens on that. I
spent a token or 2 on that. It was stressful because we've changed the garage door,
and you did that all of your own accord. Like, I had no input in that whatsoever. I just came home from work one day and you was like, right, I've done it, I've had the guy in, he's coming on whatever the date was.
He's given me a quote and I've paid a deposit.
So
the garage door, for anyone that hasn't watched my video about it, I've got a couple of videos about my home gym already, but the garage door took up, because it was an up and over door, nothing wrong with it. We've only lived here for 3 years next month. So there's nothing wrong with the garage door. It worked perfectly well. It was an up and over. So I'm lucky enough that my garage, it's the only space that I have that I'm able to do pretty much what I want with. Everything else I have to go run it past you. But my garage has a lot of space above head height.
Yeah, it's quite high.
It's quite high, and it's quite a long garage.
It's a garage and a half is what an estate agent would call it.
Yeah, it was described to us when we bought the house, a garage and a half. It's higher than a usual garage and it's longer than a usual garage, and it's slightly wider but not enough that it makes any difference. So the up and over door took about 33% of the space that I was able to use. Now, even though I was able to walk under it, the frame, as the door came in, it meant I couldn't put anything up that end that was higher than my head height, which is okay if you're stacking boxes, but I want things up off the floor. I want some shelving up, I want racking, I want my bikes up on the wall, and I just couldn't do that up that end. So it had to be all up at this end. But then I also want to install a gym setup. So I want to get a power rack, I want to get some dumbbells, I want to get some flooring down. I couldn't do any of that with the racking in the way. So the door had to go, didn't it?
Yeah. It just, the mechanisms in the ceiling just took up too much airspace.
So that's the synopsis of where we are. Progress so far.
Now, what have we got instead?
So progress, we've got a new roller shutter door.
Which takes up zero space once
inside
it's
the
closed.
garage. Yep. Inside the garage takes up zero space and it's more secure.
And it's the edges are sealed more, so any heat that's in there will stay.
And the door itself is insulated.
Yeah.
So that helps.
And there's no gap at the bottom.
No gap at the bottom. Then that moves me on nicely to my next one, which is I've got new gym flooring.
We've got the flooring.
Yep, the flooring was delivered last week, but I couldn't do anything until the door was installed.
No.
So I needed the door installed to know what end of the gym things were going to go, make a decision on that, and then have the flooring installed on the back of that. I've decided I'm paying someone to install it for me. Now, I could install it myself. This is where the manly man inside me feels like I'm kind of, I should be doing it myself. My dad would be going mad at me if he found out I was paying someone to do it. I could quite happily install the floor, couldn't I?
Yeah, it doesn't look hard.
No, but it's time.
Yeah.
If I was to install it myself, I'd have to stop making YouTube videos, stop running our family business with you, take a week off, not a week, but however long off to do it. And I just don't have that. I just don't have that bandwidth. So I've decided to throw the money at the problem.
And just get a builder in.
Now, because I've got a builder in to install the floor, and I will say that the floor was provided to me by a company called Sprung Flooring. So I just want to give them a bit of a shout out, and I really appreciate that because I got in contact with the CEO. I didn't get in contact with the CEO. I contacted the company, and the CEO emailed me to say that they'd like to provide it to me because they know I'm going to use it in my videos. So I really appreciated that. Not sponsored, but they have provided me the flooring. I haven't paid for it. So I'm looking forward to using it, but it was my choice. So it's not like they've approached me and I've just accepted it. I approached them, said I want some flooring. I'm going to use it in a video. He was like, hey, let me send you some. So that flooring is going to go down. But because we're getting a builder to do it, I'm also having some new power outlets installed because I've only got one power outlet.
Yeah, we don't have any plugs.
No plugs. We're getting more plugs installed and it's going to be insulated.
The walls.
So we're going to have insulation on the walls and then plasterboard, painted. It's going to look good.
How much depth are we going to lose from the walls?
Just a strut.
Oh, okay.
So a wooden strut that they put up. Not a lot. Just enough to insulate it. Not a lot. I'm not losing a lot. But I think it'd be worth. I think that much either side.
Oh, it's hardly anything.
Probably a bit more. That much either side. That much. What's that? I don't know.
4 inches, two on each side.
More than that. I don't know. Whatever. But I think it'd be worth the payoff to have it warmer in the winter.
Yeah. So that's coming along.
So that's been done. So the builder is coming in next week. I've been documenting the journey. I'm making them into videos. The gym is doing really well.
Have you narrowed down which gym setup you're going to get?
No, I haven't decided on equipment yet. It's a toss-up between going the whole hog and having a company like Rogue, which is an American company, and the equipment's shipped from America. So there's like a 4 to 6 week lead time. Or going with a UK company, and one of the ones, the main running leader at the moment is a company called Mirafit, MIRA. Not sponsored. I'm paying full whack for their equipment. And the only reason I would go with them, Rogue apparently, according to the industry elites, is the best you can possibly buy. It's like the Rolls Royce of gym equipment.
Oh. Why wouldn't you get that then?
Well, have you bought a Rolls Royce lately?
Nah.
Well, that's why. Cost. Or Mirafit, which is significantly cheaper, but apparently really good gear. And also they have shorter lead time. So I'm talking...
And they're based in the UK?
Well, that's besides the point. The only benefit to me that they're based... I'm not into this whole buy British. I will buy whoever does the best deal. But the only advantage of buying it from a UK company is the lead time isn't 4 to 6 weeks. It's 4 to 6 days.
Oh.
So that's the choice at the moment. I'm going to get a power rack or a squat rack. I'm going to get some dumbbells initially, and I might get a couple of blocks that I can do some work on.
That'll be good.
That's where I am at the moment.
And you're hoping that us three will use it too?
Yeah, I am. I'm really hoping. My daughter Scarlett, she's already promised.
Yeah.
Maddie laughed when I suggested it.
Yeah, I can see Scarlett doing it more than Maddie.
Yeah.
To be fair.
And then you have already said you want to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And then that leads me quite nicely onto your press-ups.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been doing 100 press-ups every day for a year.
What's the date today? Oh, tomorrow will be day 365. So today is the last day.
Today is the last day.
Today is the last day. The last day.
100 press-ups every day. That's mental. I feel like we need to spend longer talking about it, but I'm not sure what else there is. What's the? Are you pleased it's over?
I've mixed feelings. I am pleased it's over because sometimes you just, especially when you get home at like gone 9 o'clock, you then have to cook dinner, eat dinner, and all you want to do is go to bed, and then you're like, oh, I haven't done the press-ups. You then need to take the time to do the press-ups.
You started off really disciplined, and you were doing them
first thing in the morning.
Yeah, or when you had the opportunity to do it at work. Yeah. Because of the job you do. And I'm being intentionally vague because I'd like to keep that stuff separate from YouTube. But you then got to the point recently in the last few months where you're just like, get it done before bed.
Yeah.
So I'll be going to bed. The girls, all three of us will be going to bed, and you're like, oh, I've got 100 press-ups to do.
I think as well, because at the beginning, I couldn't do 100 all in one go. I had to spread them out throughout the day, and it was quite difficult. I was just doing them 10 at a time to start with. So it was, right, I'll do 10 when I first wake up. I'll do 10 a bit later on in the morning, 10 at lunchtime, 10 in the afternoon, 10 mid-afternoon. So I was spreading it out throughout the day. But as the challenge went on, and I was finding I could do more at once, I was then doing 50, a 30-second break, and then 50. So I didn't need to spread them out throughout the day. I was then leaving them till the last minute, which probably was...
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
The wrong thing to do, which then made it feel like it was more of an endurance just to do them rather than the actual... process of doing them.
I mean, but structure's great. I mean, someone said to me, a plan only survives first contact. It's all right having a plan before you actually start, but when you start and all the variables kick in and things that you didn't think about all happen, life gets in the way and you end up just needing to get them done. Yeah, I
have noticed that I am stronger. There's no other way to describe it. Yeah. So I am enjoying that side of things, being stronger, and especially with the job we do, being stronger does help a lot. Yeah. So I think I might keep doing press-ups to keep that strength up, because if you stop, it's going to go. But I don't know necessarily whether I'm going to do 100 every day.
No. And the fact that you've done 100 every day is amazing. Right? You're putting me to shame.
Because you lasted 30 days.
I did 30 days. And you started it because I started it. Yeah. And you did a year.
Well, no, I was going to do 100 days, 100 press-ups for 100 days, remember?
I'm going to say it again. You've done a year.
And then when I got to 100 days, I just thought, well, if I can do 100 days, maybe I can do a whole year.
You've done a year. 365 days of 100 press-ups every day. That's unbelievable.
That's 3,500 press-ups.
That's so many press-ups. And so many. And then, but it's good timing, because now, once the gym's done, which is probably going to take another few weeks, but now you have a rest, you still do some, but you don't have to be the same intensity. And then you can just start again with a new challenge in the gym. Yeah. Maybe pull-ups.
Yeah. I did try a chin-up last night. Did you see?
No.
I sort of like this way, got to about here.
Yeah. Using different muscles.
Yeah.
Good. Right, moving on. So I'm going to talk about YouTube and Patreon. So before we get onto YouTube, I just want to mention, so for those that support me on Patreon will already know this, because I shared a video on Patreon. You can go and watch it on my Patreon channel. It's free of charge. I'm not charging anything for the video. You don't have to pay to watch it. All you have to do is just sign up as a free member, which is free of charge. But I made a video on Patreon where I announced that I'm stopping making videos for Patreon, and I've asked everyone that supported me, because at the moment I have 62 people that support
62,
me.
62, that's
really good.
That is quite
Remember,
good.
These are people that are paying me a monthly subscription, which YouTube's different because it's free. YouTube is free for everybody to watch. I can upload videos. Having 1,000, having 15,000 still blows my mind. I'm ticking over 15,000 subscribers today. Is the day I tick over 15,000 subscribers. They don't pay a penny. I mean, also you have YouTube Premium, but that's not because of me. That's YouTube just removing the ads. But people can support me on YouTube for free of charge. Patreon people support me through a monthly subscription. And in return for that, my aim with Patreon was always, and I wanted to put this on the podcast because it's important for people to understand why I've stopped it. I will never ever, and I know other YouTubers do, and I'm somebody who is you do you. I'm not passing judgment on anybody else that does this. Other YouTubers will have a Patreon page where they don't actually give them any benefit. It's just a way in which subscribers can support them if they wish to. If they have enough, spare cash, they're able to support their favourite YouTubers. But I'm aware that a lot of subscribers have more than one favourite YouTuber, and I don't want people feeling that they have to give me money for me to continue doing what I'm doing, even though their support massively helped me. I'm not, looking a gift horse in the mouth. Everyone that supported me up until this point, I am massively grateful for, which is why I've made the video and put it on Patreon, thanking them. However, I always had the intention of giving something in return. It's a two-way street. I would never take a monthly subscription off someone without giving them something in return. So my aim was, and I did really well with this, I was really proud of it, this podcast was going to be exclusive on Patreon for a whole season. So I would film and record 8 episodes of the podcast, and they'd all be uploaded weekly to Patreon first, and then they would be released onto my second channel. I would do Zwift race review videos, and I would also add on additional exclusive content like vlogs and other things that were happening. Now, the problem is, I obviously stopped my podcast because I've already explained at the beginning why. I'm not going to go into that now. I'm not going to cover that old ground. I've already mentioned it. But it meant I didn't have that going on Patreon. I got injured, so I wasn't able to make my Zwift race review videos. Yeah. And then I was finding I had a bit of a problem with the vlogs and videos that were exclusive. I was making videos for Patreon with the intention of them being exclusive to Patreon, and then I'm like, this is such a good video, I really enjoyed making it, I now want to put it on my YouTube channel. So I just thought, look, I'm not going to ask people to give me money in return for nothing. That's really, it just doesn't sit right with me. If I ever
morals.
If I ever asked people to give me money to buy something, subscribe to me, whatever, it would always be in return for something. If I ever did a merch shop, which we might come on to shortly, if we ever did a merch shop, we ever started selling, started selling something on my YouTube channel, it would always be with the intention of that being something that people wanted. It would be something that
they'd make the decision.
It would be, they'd make the decision. It would be in demand. I wouldn't just sell crap for the sake of it. It was a two-way street, and Patreon was no longer that.
It was a one-way.
It was one way. People were just giving me money. I didn't like that. So I've decided, it's still live. The channel is still there. I haven't deleted it because I might revisit it in the future when I have more time to,
just taking a break.
Taking a break. And it makes it sound, I want to say again on the podcast, thank you to those that have already, subscribed to me, give me money in the past. I really appreciate it. I have always appreciated that. I've appreciated your engagement and your support. So I just wanted to put that out there. So
also with the ending of the Patreon, you've made some changes to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, nothing major. So I'm focusing all of my energy, my two priorities from a YouTube perspective is now 90% of my energy is going to go into my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Everything, I've removed all the white noise, the stopping of the Patreon, and it's not just Patreon, other things as well. I've stopped, which aren't relevant going through them because they're, things that are happening behind the scenes. I've stopped all of that white noise and I'm putting all of my energy into YouTube. All of my videos that are coming up, my home gym I've got coming up. I've got a video about obviously McDonald's and Supersize Me. I'm planning a video, another phone detox video. That's going to be coming soon. I'm going to be doing more motivational videos where I'm talking about, how to overcome those negative things in our life that stop us from achieving the goals we want to achieve. I want to become a channel that discusses that more because that's a big part of me, overcoming these hurdles, stopping alcohol, losing weight, being motivated, the books I read, my philosophies, things that keep me driving forward, the things that make me who I am, why I'm able to cycle and run really long ways. These are the things I want to make videos about. And I'm also going to upload on a new schedule. So I'm going to upload every Sunday from now on, probably around 6 o'clock. haven't nailed the time yet, but I've decided to do Sunday evening
Sunday.
uploads. I used to do Fridays.
Yeah.
Initially, I used to do Mondays. And then I changed it to Fridays. In an ideal world, I'd like to do 2 videos a week, but I'm not there yet. That's something maybe for the future. I'm not there yet. I've just passed 15,000 subscribers. I'm really, really proud of that. And I would love to get to 20. I'd love to get to 100,000.
100,000.
100,000 is my big benchmark. That's like party time. 20,000 is my next, step.
Where you want to be.
Yeah. That's where I want to be. I'd love to see it grow. I'd love to see my YouTube channel. YouTube is where I'm going to devote the next however many years of my life to see what I can make it happen, see what I can make it grow. The whole point of starting YouTube was as a document of my journey.
Yeah.
That journey has now become, YouTube has become part of that journey.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not just about losing weight and getting fit.
Because it's kind of like that, what came first, the chicken or the egg situation with your journey and YouTube.
Yeah.
The journey is now metamorphosized into something else. Yeah. That's a real word.
Is it? Okay. It has. You're absolutely right. YouTube has now become synonymous with what I do as much as running and cycling has. So I've got loads of great ideas coming up. I've got more Zwift stuff coming up. The best thing I ever did was started walking back in 2019. That eventually led to me running. So walking and running I see as the same kind of evolution of themselves. It's the same point. Then the second best thing I ever did was the Watt bike, buying the Watt bike, investing a significant portion of money, which we did not have at the time, into a Watt bike to start Zwifting. Best thing I ever did. Never regret that decision. And then I'm hoping the third best thing I've ever done will be to start a home gym build and to start lifting weights. Yeah. I'm hoping that will be my next evolution. And then what I would love to see happen is to do hybrid training. So running, cycling, lifting, all combined, which will take me down a completely different path.
Is the plan.
That's the plan. And everyone that's listening to this will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just not going to say it out loud because then I have to do it. Next point that we had on the list was you, and this is a bit of this was something where I was like, should we discuss it? Should we not discuss it? We've had an idea where we're going to start doing, I want to start doing some merch.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
You've said that for quite a while now, that you'd like to do some merch.
But I just don't want to do the cliche YouTuber stuff where I sell baseball caps and T-shirts that just have a logo and it's just a shop that is a third-party company, really, and it doesn't come from me. Yeah. I wanted to do T-shirts and hats still, but less cliche in the sense that we make it.
Yeah. No, rephrase that.
You make it.
Okay.
Because you're crafty.
Yeah. So, I do enjoy making things.
Yeah.
If I'm not working...
That's an understatement. That's like saying McDonald's like selling burgers.
Well, I'm always doing one of 3 things. I'm either working or doing general, adult stuff like cooking, cleaning, that kind of stuff.
Mum stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading. Depending on how much time I have, I'm either making something or reading. One of those 2 things is how I spend my free time. Mm-hmm. So you decided to utilise...
Well, you make some absolutely amazing stuff. You've made, I'm not going to go through the list now.
Well, you'd be here all day.
Yeah, but you have made some incredible stuff. You make stuff out, you crochet, you make stuff out of wool. You don't knit, but you crochet. No. There's a big difference. I've been reliably informed.
Very big difference.
Under the threat of death. And you've made clothing. I'm talking. I'm not selling the dream here. This is hardly a very good advert for you. But you have made some things that I would argue are as good as the things you would be able to buy in a shop. You've made some excellent things, some products, cuddly toys. You've made models of things that are decorations.
Yeah.
I haven't got a terminology, which is why I'm struggling to describe it. I think it's visual. If I was to be able to put pictures
we could,
showed it, I think people would be like, wow, that's really good. And everyone that sees it always says that's amazing. So I thought, rather than, because there are these companies that YouTubers use where you can pay a third party company and they will take control. You just literally send them your logo, send them your design, whatever it is that I wanted them to print. They'd even do it for me. If I just went, take Ryan Condon, my name.
Make it into a logo.
And they'll do it for me.
Stick it on a T-shirt.
I take no ownership of that. And I don't really think that anyone buying it has any value from that. Like, what is it you're buying? You're literally buying a t-shirt. Instead of it saying Nike, like you're wearing, it says Ryan Condon. Like, there's no
personalization.
No, there's no connection there. There's no. It feels like you're buying a part of the community. You feel that you're supporting or doing it. You're buying from a third party company. The YouTuber might get 10, 15, 20% of that, depending on what they've negotiated. Farm it off to a factory.
They might not get anything
in China. That then on a website. That's not me.
No.
So what I wanted to do, with your help, is to buy in a load of t-shirts and do some limited edition runs. So we get 100 t-shirts, all different sizes, and there's only 100 of them.
Yeah.
And we just sell them, and they have personalised.
I physically put the logo on the t-shirt.
Yeah, or the saying, or the quote.
Or whatever's going to be on there. We haven't made all the...
No, we haven't got into the... I've got ideas. I've run past
It's just ideas at the moment. Tell everybody where we went yesterday.
So we went shopping, looking to buy, window shopping for an embroidery machine, which I thought I'd be a few £100. We're looking at machines that are like $7,000 and the rest.
Yeah, 10 was the one we was actually looking at, wasn't it?
Mental. So...
We're still looking.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that right now because I don't want people thinking I'm buying a 7 and the rest. $7,000 was just entry level without any of the equipment with it.
Yeah.
And the rest, I don't want people thinking I'm spending up to $10,000 on an embroidery machine. I don't want to think I'm spending that on an embroidery machine. I don't even know that'd be mental. Anyway, my point is we were looking. I thought you could just buy a sewing machine for £200 and you could write words on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Apparently not. Apparently it doesn't work like that. So short of you going blind by stitching by hand t-shirts like the bio tapestry, we're going to buy a machine that kind of lets us personalize t-shirts. We're going to wrap them. We're going to post them ourselves. It's going to be a in-house sweatshop. I'm going to get my 2 teenage daughters working completely for free for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we're going to get some kind of merch going.
Yeah.
And I'm going to set up a website. People can buy it, support me. People can have, a t-shirt that I've made or you've made. And then we're going to go from there. So that's the plan.
Yeah. The merch shop.
It'd be fun. I think that's enough we can talk about. Because the problem is, I've got all these ideas. You've got all these ways in which you're telling me this is how it happens. The problem is, I come to you, I go, look, I want to do this. And you go, this is how it works. I'm like, can't you just do it like that? And you're like, no, it has to be done like this.
Yeah.
And I want it to be good quality and I want it to look nice, but I want it to be personable. That's the main thing for me. I don't care. Oh, I do care. But the main priority for me, above everything else, number one, personable.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Bespoke.
That's what it'll be.
Enough buzzwords. And then the last point.
Your ring.
My ring. So this here isn't actually the ring. So this, I just want to quickly touch on this. I want to end on this. So this isn't sponsored, but I've got a ring box, as you can see there. And then this ring was sent to me by a company called Ultra Human. You can have a look at their website, and they do these rings. Now I've got a watch. I haven't got it with me. I've got a watch, the Garmin Fenix 7. It's a sports watch, and it's really heavy. It goes on my wrist, and it measures.
Well, where else would a watch go?
Yeah, obviously. Well, some watches you can. Well, not watches, but some straps you can buy. Like you can get a heart rate monitor.
Yeah,
that
but
goes
if
around
it's
your
a
chest.
watch, it's a watch.
I understand. Yeah, but it's not just a watch. It also monitors my vitals, my sleep patterns, my body stress, my heart rate, all of the good stuff that I would like to know more about. If I'm going to become a hybrid athlete, I need to know this information. I said that tongue in cheek, guys. But I want to know that information. Now, I was looking at rings because someone mentioned this to me, and I've actually watched a few YouTube videos, and I know there's a ring that you can get which is called the Aura ring, I think it's called. There's another one that's out on the market. Anyway, the company I've chosen is Ultra Human. They got in contact with me actually and said, "Can we send you one?" I was like, "Of course you can, absolutely." So they sent me. So part of the process is they send you this pack, which I've got here on the table. And I am going to put this in a video, by the way, so don't worry about any of the details right now. I just wanted to talk through it. But they send you this pack, and you get to choose the colour, and then you choose the ring size, and you choose the finger you put the ring on. So you can wear it for a few days, go online, put your details into the link, and then they actually send you the ring. I think
so this has got no technology inside it.
No.
It's just a plastic ring.
Yeah, it's just a plastic ring, so I can practice this, what finger I'm going to wear it on. So if I want it on that finger, I need to use ring number 10. And then if I want it on the other finger, I need to have ring number 11.
I mean, whose fingers are this big?
I know. Some of the people, yeah, that's huge. But my point is that this is the process. So then when the ring comes through, I'm able to measure my stats. And I'm really excited about that.
Why didn't you like the watch?
It's really heavy. So when I'm in bed, so the point is, it's a good question actually, I never mentioned that. So the main driving force for why I'm doing this is I can wear the watch throughout the day, no problem. I don't wear jewellery, I don't wear a necklace, I don't wear earrings, rings, watches, but I can wear the Garmin watch during the day, but it's really clunky, really heavy. And I know I can get smaller things like a Whoop band. There's a thing called a Whoop band, have you heard of it?
No.
Does the same thing, much lighter, doesn't have a watch at all on it, just monitors you.
Oh.
Does the same thing, but I just like the idea of a ring. I think a ring is even smaller than a wristband. Postman. So I can wear the ring, it's a lot lighter, but most importantly I can wear it in bed. And that's why I want to monitor my vitals. I want to start looking at my sleep patterns.
Your sleep pattern isn't that great.
Why isn't it? I sleep beautifully.
Yeah, but you stay up quite late.
Oh, yes. Part of my phone detox. I'm on my phone, watching YouTube, reading emails, checking social media. Need to stop doing that. I'm hoping with some discipline, 90% discipline, 10% ring.
When you actually read the data written out in front of you, it will make you have a sudden realization that you need to stop.
Well, very much going back to the beginning of this episode where we were talking about the people we were interviewing on the street.
Yeah.
The disconnect between knowing what they were eating was unhealthy and still doing it on a daily basis. You know
full well that lying in bed.
My cognitive dissonance allows me to not think about the fact that lying in bed until 1 a.m. on my phone, knowing it's bad for me and still doing it. So I'm hoping that having that data in front of me lets me think like that. But I'd also as I start ramping up my physical activity, once my knee is healed, I'm going to be absolutely throwing my heart and soul into my running, into my cycling, and into lifting in the gym. I'm going to become this uber fit hybrid athlete. I need these stats to help support my body stress, and I want to analyze my body stress, my heart rate.
So that you know if something you're doing is good or something you're doing is bad.
Overdoing it. I want some stats behind it.
You need to stop. Do you need to do more? Do you need to do less?
Yeah, and I want to start thinking like that because it's something I've never done up until now. I never look at stats. I don't use Strava. I don't look at any of my stats on Zwift. I don't look at any of my stats on Garmin. This I'm hoping, mainly because I don't wear the watch, but it's all disjointed. So if I go and wear my watch lifting in the gym and then wear my watch for a long run and then go on Zwift, all of the data, none of it's connected. Even though it's supposed to be, there isn't one sheet I can look at. Whereas this will give me that. So if I wear this, I'm hoping it will help me with my sleep patterns, my VO2 max, my heart rate, my body stress, most importantly, my body stress, knowing when I need to rest. And I can use some of that data as part of a training plan.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
And that's the podcast.
That's the podcast.
That's podcast episode number 1 of
Tracie and Ryan podcast unscripted.
Tracie and Ryan unscripted. Ryan Condon unscripted.
Tracie and Ryan unscripted.
That's it. Thank you very much for listening and watching.
Thanks,
Cheers, guys.